So Marvel is quickly starting to fill in the blanks on that big giant mural that all these little posters are going to create. Earlier today we talked about the Scarlet Witch and Iron Man posters, and now the Black Widow and Captain America posters have come out as well. Let's start out with Black Widow though, because here we get to see some new stuff. Now, in the last time I talked about Scarlet Witch earlier today, I mentioned that it seemed like she was voguing for the camera, that she was just as concerned with her looks as she was her fighting prowess and the ability to use her powers, etc. Here, though, I think Scarlett Johansson continues to show that this is the way to play a female superhero. She still looks very pretty, but she's focused on doing her job. She has a look of determination on her face. You see the same thing with Cap, by the way. I've also talked today about masks hiding, faces, and how that's not such a great thing for Ant-Man, because we got a first look at that character through a poster reveal as well. And, it kind of takes the audience a step back from relating to the superhero they're watching. And here you can see that Scarlett Johansson means business. She's not too badass. She's just concerned enough. As I said, I continue to be impressed with the right note, the right tone that Johansson is able to hit as Black Widow. And that's why she deserves to have her movie, and I think be the first solo female superhero movie. We'll see if she can beat Wonder Woman to the big screen. But the big thing here, of course, is her battle suit. They've added not just the Black Widow sting, which used to just be in her gauntlets, but they have almost pretty much, as you can see, electricized or given electricity to the entire suit. It gives it kind of a Tron feel, and it powers her up. It's kind of actually something that was just discussed this week in Batman and Robin, with the whole Robin Rises storyline, how Batman has this suit that he created that was forged with the help of the entire Justice League, because he's the only human without any powers on the team. And I think that's kind of what you see maybe happening here with Scarlett Johansson. Although she seemed quite capable in the first Avengers without anything but guns and her fighting prowess and abilities in the field, but it looks like she's leveling up for the movie. Everyone needs to level up, I guess, for each movie to try and keep things interesting. Iron Man always gets upgrades, etc. So we'll see if this is something that works for her character or maybe is something that works against it. Of course, we'll have to see how it goes in the movie. As I said, I worry that someone could turn this against her because she's basically, has to carry, I don't know, what's powering this? A giant generator somewhere on her person? Although maybe, we all know that Tony Stark has invented a limitless power supply, maybe he hands some over to Black Widow. That would be very interesting as well, and would continue to show why Tony Stark is the center of attention for these Avengers movies, at very least, in the cinematic universe, because he continues to anchor the entire thing and have a relationship with each member of the team. But she seems to be effective. She's electrocuting some, you can see Hulk's hand, by the way, in here, and she's supposed to be Hulk's bodyguard. That's a little bit of information we're getting about the movie. So fitting that they would be close together. I guess she didn't keep him from hulking out here, or maybe, also now that I think about it, she could use the sting, although it didn't really quite work for Tony Stark when he tried to do it in the first Avengers, but maybe if she hits him with enough energy, she could get Bruce Banner to hulk out as well. Although some people are arguing that the first movie seemed to establish that Bruce Banner is always angry and therefore can control his ability to hulk out, because he'd always be hulked out if he didn't have that control. But that seems to be an idea they're shying away from for the sequel. But I think Scarlett Johansson looks great. I think this character, and obviously this is a painting, so I think the people behind the movie also are on board with this great tone for Black Widow. She looks phenomenal. I love it, and I'm very curious to see how this power suit works for her. Because, something that makes the character cool, and something that always made Batman cool, is that these characters are competitive at this level, even though they don't have superpowers. So does it make them less cool when you upgrade them so that they're a little bit more of a fair fight? Do we want a fair fight? I think people never really like Batman's super suits, and he wears them very sparingly. Now let's head over here to Captain America. He has his little face mask on. I talked about the fact that he loses that more and more in the actual movies and Captain America the Winter Soldier, but he's got it on here. I guess they feel that's part of his official costume. You can see the Avengers logo on his arm rather than a star, or even anything for S.H.I.E.L.D. I think that's very interesting. We've discussed that when we had our first look at the photos from Entertainment Weekly about a week ago. And then, so is that A on his head for Avengers or America? Interesting, right? That might be a way for them to get around that. But I think I also like the emotion on his face as well. His face is dirty. He's fighting. I think they're really trying to man up Captain America. I think Chris Evans himself looks bulkier in this movie, and I think you're seeing that here. They're toughening him up so that I think that while Black Widow has to, in terms of her weapons and abilities, be at the same level as everybody else, I think that Chris Evans and the Captain America character in the movies needs to get a little bit tougher so that they, what defines him. Thor is arrogant, Tony Stark is slick. I think Captain America maybe needs a little bit badass there because the Boy Scout is such a tough card to play and not as compelling. So I like these both very much, and it's interesting they were released together considering they just appeared in The Winter Soldier, Captain America 2 together. But I'm curious as to what you think of these posters and how they're developing. You can check out a bunch of other Comic-Con coverage right now, including my analysis of those first two Scarlet Witch and Iron Man posters. Stay tuned for more throughout Comic-Con this weekend. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.